and all over a football match.
Yes, indeed. Around 2,000 officers have been sent out to patrol the streets, both before and after the match. That's 20% of Denmark's police force. It says in one incident, a gang of Arsenal supporters cornered a group of Turks at the top of a flight of steps before the police stepped in. There have been chants of England, which has provoked fears that non-Arsenal supporters may have made the trip abroad just to cause trouble.
Yeah, there was talk that quite a few fans wearing England shirts rather than Arsenal shirts. We heard a little bit earlier on from Paul Deneen, the man who was stabbed last night, released from hospital. I mean, that scene just saddens you. Man in a wheelchair escaping the tear gas. So many innocent bystanders affected by this. Quite a few arrests. The riot police using tear gas. Bar owners, shop owners in Copenhagen, all affected. Chairs, bikes, missiles, bits of scaffolding used in the violence.
Yeah, we know that many of the fans have been drinking all day, and there are no plans apparently to close the bars in the city centre in a bid to prevent a repeat of last night's violence. It's pretty much a 24-hour drinking city as well, Copenhagen, which doesn't bode well indeed for the post-match frivolities.
There's still some doubt as to how the trouble actually started in the first place. It appeared, though, that the violence flared when the two sets of fans began to taunt each other.
Two bars facing each other, and as Turkish fans walked through, quite a few Arsenal fans in the Aladdin bar, from what I saw, were taunting the Galatasray supporters. But then a lot of the Galatasray supporters were not very happy about it, obviously, so they kind of formed a line across the front of the square there, and then the police kind of formed a barrier in front of them, and then the Arsenal fans kind of spilled out of the alleyway and kind of stood in front of the Palace Hotel, and the Galatasray fans were kind of in the square, so there was like a sort of barrier between the two, and then obviously bottles came flying over, and then tear gas came over. That's basically it, and a lot of our fans kind of went around the back streets over there to try and get away from the tear gas.
What Galatasray are doing here, they should have been banned off the Leeds game anyway. They stabbed two of our supporters last night, another one today, pushed another one under a car over there. They're animals, they shouldn't be here.
They should be thrown out of the competition.
Well, yeah, what are they doing here? They shouldn't be here.
What did you see about how it started?
We were over the pub over there. We were inside of the pub. We just sort of looked out the window and just saw a load of tear gas going off and fighting and people running everywhere, so we didn't see it start. But I will say there's a lot of Arsenal supporters that didn't wear colours, so you don't know if they're Arsenal supporters or not.
Could be anyone.
So most Arsenal supporters wear the colour, and there was a good 100 people at the front that wasn't wearing any colours.
Okay, we'll of course keep you right up to date with events in Copenhagen before kick-off, which it's 7:45 our time.
Another, after being stabbed by a Turkish Galatasaray fan a short time ago, a police officer on the scene said an English supporter had been stabbed in the stomach with a knife by a man of Turkish origin. The offender had not been caught, the police officer said. The Arsenal supporter taken away by ambulance. Danish television and radio news said that around 10 people had been hurt, one bleeding profusely after part of his ear was ripped off, as clashes continued between rival groups of soccer fans in the city ahead of tonight's UEFA Cup final between Arsenal and Galatasaray. Local media there apparently saying at the moment up to 9 people have been arrested during the day after overnight fighting, which caused at least 7 injuries and led to the arrest of 10. But bad news will be with our man over there just as soon as we can make contact. But another Arsenal fan taken to hospital. He's been stabbed in the stomach.
Of Copenhagen became a battlefield this afternoon as hundreds of English and Turkish fans fought and rioted. The kick-off between Arsenal and Galatasaray in the UEFA Cup final is due in under 2 hours' time. Danish police are out in force. They've been using tear gas to try to restore order. Follows rioting last night when one Arsenal fan was stabbed. Let's get the full story now from Copenhagen and our correspondent Paul Newman. Paul.
Renewed disturbances in the Danish capital tonight, just a couple of hours before the UEFA Cup final.
The tensions among opposing fans once more spilling over into violence. The police say supporters from both Arsenal and Galatasaray were involved in skirmishes which took more than half an hour to bring under control. Many of those caught up in the fighting had spent the day drinking in local bars. For the first time, the Danish police had to use tear gas as a large number of officers were rushed to the scene. The authorities' hopes of preventing a repeat of last night's violence proved hopelessly over-optimistic. 12 hours earlier, Copenhagen's main square was again the focus of trouble, with a series of running battles outside bars involving rival fans. The police say more than 300 fans were involved. The fighting appeared to be out of control for a while, with very few police officers present. In the mayhem, one Arsenal fan, Paul Deneen, was stabbed in the chest. He was given treatment in the road by other fans who used their shirts to stem the flow of blood.